my YouTube family. I have found my cup in my heart that I've been missing on my last few videos. So we're going to start this, we'll say, and stir up some love. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just need to take a little breath. It's been a crazy day. So I need to get focused and say, Lord, give me the words of what to say. All righty. All right. So, hello, good evening. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, and we're going to jump right on in. I want to share with you first. Today, I was doing my time with God, and of course, I sit down with my journal, and I write down 2 memories. I write down, I'm smiling a little bit because one of my memories is, because I think I've met someone special. So anyway, that was one of my memories. Okay, and then I write down, see, now I can't even think. All right, so, and then I write down my fears, and then I write down what I'm grateful for, and then I just kind of give it all to God. And so today, when I was writing my fears and all of my things in my journal, which I can share a little bit with you, because, it's kind of like a diary. We want to know what people are saying. So it said, in my journal, it said, blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. Matthew 5:8. And it's kind of like at the top of my journal. I always read the page that I'm writing on because it has a Bible verse on it. And I was writing down about, let's see, some of my fears right now, how I'm perceived. I'm doing a lot of new things, and one of my fears is how people are perceiving me. One of my fears is my neighbor who's still in the hospital. My garbage disposal is broken. Like, we've tried to do the YouTube fix it things, and it's not working. So I have some fears like that. Something that I am thankful for is that I was able to be cleaning and doing laundry. Laundry detergent is not cheap. So I think it's a blessing to have a washer machine and do laundry at home. There are so many people that don't have that luxury. So that's something that I was thankful for. I was thankful that I was able to tithe this month, and it's already blessing me tremendously. I mean, the good Lord is not even making me wait very long to see the blessings with this tithe, which is such a blessing and so undeserving. So anyway, what I'm wanting to share is, blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God, Matthew 5:8. So I read that, and then I went to turn on my Holy Bible app and listen to the Bible. I'm doing the Bible. I messed this up, so I'm going to think about it. The Bible through the year, right? I was listening to that on my plan. I'm doing that Bible plan right now. And it gets to talking. It's talking about, it was the day 51. And it was talking about, in 1949, there were 7 men and 2 women. And they were at this place, and they decided to pray together. And they said that they saw God, and it actually made them fall over. And while they were praying out away from the town in the barn, and they were out praying, and they had like this very divine experience that they knew was God. And so in town, which was 4 miles away, there were 2 sisters that said that they actually saw God. They saw God when the people in the barn were praying, and said they encountered God. And so this man that was praying in the barn, he was a preacher. I think his name was Duncan Campbell, I think. I've taken notes, but I'm trying to remember. They were praying. This was the plan for the night. They were going to pray in the barn, and this preacher was going to go preach in town. That was their plan. And so when he went to town to preach, when he got to town, the church was completely packed with people. And people were even standing outside. And, church is not normally like that. And so he was like, why are all these people here? And they were like, they all saw God. And so that's just, how do you explain that? I mean, I really don't know how to explain that. You've got 9 people praying in this barn that say they encountered God. People 4 miles away saying they saw God. It's just pretty cool. All right, so that's what I was reading. And when it started to tell this story, guess what it said? It said, blessed are the pure of heart, for they shall see God. So I had just read that in my journal, and then when I played my app, it said it as well. Don't you love moments like that? They're like little God wink moments where you know that God is there. Like the only way that can be happening is that I just read that in my journal, and then I just randomly play day 51 that I'm on in my Bible app, and it says the same Bible verse. So that's pretty cool. I just wanted to share that with you all. All right, so we're going to jump on into pride. We're back on pride. We talked about complaining against or passing judgment on God. We talked about a lack of gratitude is a manifestation of pride. We talked about anger is the number 3 manifestation of pride. Seeing yourself better than others is number 4. Okay, so we talked about how pride is never blessed. God is never, ever, ever, ever going to bless pride. Okay, that's just the way it works. And it is our job to know what pride is and how to have self-control over our pride. And it is hard. It is a discipline. It is an obedience. It is very hard. Okay, so we're going to talk about number 5. And like I said, we'll talk about pride today, and then I kind of will take a break from it, and then we'll go back into it because I do already have an agenda for a lot of days that God has given me ideas, and I want to stick to that. All right, so number 5, having an inflated view of your importance, gifts, and abilities. Many proud people have a very wrong perception of themselves. They are a legend in their own mind, but what they really need is a loving dose of reality. They need to hear, what do you have that God didn't give you? All right, 1 Corinthians 4:7 is if you want to read about more of that pride, have an inflated view of your importance and of yourself, right? So there are people that believe that they created themselves, that they have made themselves, they make their money, they take care of themselves. But, can they explain, like, did they create themselves? So there's some questions that we have to ask ourselves about having an inflated view. Or maybe, like I talked about how I tithed and I can see God blessing me and I know that it's only God. And for a moment, I got a big head and was like, wow, da-da-da, this about myself, right? And I had to say, oh, that's the enemy. Nope. This is God. This is God at work. This is just God working through me. It is not me. It is God blessing me. It has nothing to do with me other than the fact that I was obedient to him. So if you're having if you think that you're better than if you think that your gift is more important than what it really is in your mind, right, then that's something where you need to realize that your gifts are from God. Everybody has gifts, right? I have a serious gift of discernment and intuition, a huge gift. I've always had it, and that is because of God. And I will talk about that more another day because I'll just have to tell you about when I received those gifts. But I know they come from God. I know it's not just me and my personality. I know they are gifts from God. Okay, number 6. being focused on the lack of your gifts and abilities. So this can actually have a reverse effect to it as well. So some proud people may not come across proud at all because they are always down on themselves. This is still evidence of pride because one is focused on self and wants self to be elevated. Okay, y'all ready for this? All right, I'm going to give it to you. Having a woe is me attitude is self-pity. Self-pity is a pride. Interesting. So that is, if you want to read about that more, that's in 1 Corinthians 12:14 through 25. So being focused on the lack of your gifts, and that is self-pity. Self-pity is a pride. It is. You know, where you think of, you know, let's say you went through a breakup, right? It's okay to be down about that for a couple days, a few days, and then you're still thinking about it, but you're going on with life. That's okay. But being in your bed for 2 weeks and your house is a wreck, that's a pride. That's just self-pity. That's just thinking that you are more valuable than what you need to get up and do in the world. And that is a pride, self-pity. Okay, this one is probably a little bit more understandable. Number 7 manifestation of pride is perfectionism. I don't even know why I'm trying to say this with my speech impediment. Perfectionism. Okay, y'all know what I'm trying to say, right? Perfectionism. Okay. People who strive for everything to be perfect often do so for recognition. They may do it so they can feel good about themselves. Whatever the reason, this behavior is very self-serving, and we would like to say self-sabotaging, and proud. The basic problem is making things that are less important more important. And this comes from Matthew chapter 23, verse 24 to 28. And that is where you want to be perfect, right? And some people are proud of that with their children, like, oh, they just want to be perfect. It's so wonderful. They, you know, erase their name 20 times and they have to write it perfect and da-da-da. While the whole rest of the class is waiting on them to finish writing their name so they can go outside for recess. You know, it's not good if they want to be perfect. It's very self-serving. They're doing it because they have to do it a certain way to feel good. And that usually means someone else has to suffer while they're gloating in their perfectionism. I said it right. Oh my gosh, the good Lord is with me tonight. Okay, so the 3 prides that we talked about is number 5, having an inflated view of your importance. Okay, because all of your gifts and abilities are from God. So if you are proud of yourself for a gift, then you thank the Lord. All right. Then the flip side of that is being focused on the lack of your gifts and ability. That's self-pity, and that is pride. It's never best. Like, oh, well, I just don't understand why such and such has, you know, the perfect marriage and the perfect family, and why can't my family be like that, and blah, 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 blah. That's pride. It's actually coveting, but it's pride. Okay, and the last one is perfectionism. Okay, and that's when you have to do things over and over again to be perfect, which usually means someone else is waiting on you or it's affecting someone else for you to have time to be perfect. So that is a sign of pride. Okay, we're not going to get into this one, but the next pride that we will talk about when we meet again is talking too much. You know those people? I can be that person. That's why I'm talking right now too much. That just talk. They don't ask you how you're doing. You will go up to them and you say, hey, how are you doing? And they just, and then they walk off. And you're like, whew. Right? The energy vampire. Okay, so we'll talk about that. And like I said, we got a lot of prides to talk about. And I'll just kind of talk about them here and there. you know, as we're also talking about other things in these videos. So I hope this spoke to you. I hope if you're struggling with these things that you will give it to the Lord and say, Lord, I talk too much. Please help me stop. And he will. If you're genuine with him and you tell him about your prides and your sins, then he will help you to get better. Okay, so I hope you have a wonderful and fabulous rest of your evening. Thank you for watching. Hit the thumbs up like button. Hit the subscribe button so you'll get more. So it'll be on your menu when you go into YouTube, and you can just punch on it and find it. And that way it'll get out, the message about pride will get out to as many people as possible, because I bet you have someone that struggles with pride that you want them to hear this. You might even send this to someone that might need to hear it. That would be prideful, because it's between God and the person, right? Okay, so let's stir up love. And I hope that you have a wonderful evening, and thank you for all of your support. I really, truly appreciate it. All right. Next time. Bye-bye.